Hi, Rich Tehrani here. We're at CTIA 2010 in Las Vegas. Today on our program we've got Alex Stuart with the GlobalWind Group. He is the president of the company. We're thrilled to have him. Thank you for watching. Alex, tell me a little bit about your company, please.
We're a Winnipeg-based company. We build small wind turbines. So we build them 6 foot by 6 foot, completely stainless steel. We're making an entrance into the telecommunications market, which is why we're here. We want to be able to give customers an opportunity to cut the cord, get away from that electrical utility. It creates all sorts of additional costs, additional time headaches, all those sorts of things as you have to connect to the grid. We're giving people a chance to get away from that. So we've designed our turbine with that in mind.
So we're talking about towers now?
No, wind technology.
No, but I mean that you're going to help the cell phone towers?
Yes.
Is that basically where this comes into play?
Yep. So if you've got dead spots, or if you want to, if you want to increase your coverage, increase your reliability, maybe a backup power, there's a whole bunch of different applications for it.
So can you power with wind? Obviously, there has to be wind to create power.
Yes.
So the question becomes, how much wind does there need to be for you to be able to effectively power a cell site?
Yep.
Without any backup electricity?
Yeah, the calculations are going to be based on certainly what the available wind speed is, and there are site maps for every state. The governments have come along and told us what the average wind speeds are at that state, so we use that to then calculate how many of our small turbines we need and what the battery configuration is going to have to be. So they start spinning at 3 miles an hour, they'll produce their full kilowatt at about 25 miles an hour, and then anything in between there you're going to be charging your batteries. So it really actually comes back more to the battery system and how that's set up and the electronics that way than it does to the actual amount of wind.
Because you can put more turbines to just take advantage of more wind,
yep.
and, or take advantage of, more work being generated, which gets converted into energy.
Yep. So it's scalable. You don't have to build one giant turbine. As you need more power, you install more turbines. So it's certainly a very cost-effective solution.
So can you give us an example or an average cost of what it would take to power a typical cell site?
Yeah. Our units come standard out of our factory, pre-assembled, $8,900. That includes the turbine, the pole, and the batteries. That'll give you 250 watts over 6 hours. That'll drain the battery if there's absolutely no wind speed. So at a cell site, what I'm being told is you need to between 4 and 5 kilowatt hours. So to power that, we're going to need to look at about 8 to 10 turbines at your general North American average wind speeds of about 5 meters per second. So that would be sort of the rough calculation. So you could power an entire cell site for under $100,000.
Forever, right? That's theoretically. Well, I guess you're still going to have to replace the batteries, right?
Yeah,
that's
the batteries do need to be done.
And how about the turbines?
The
bearings?
turbines themselves, nope, they're seal bearings. They're designed to last for 20 years. They're only one moving part, so there's not a lot of wear and tear, which is a big difference. Our turbines are vertical axis, so they spin around a central column, rather than your standard sort of propeller-style turbines. So they're insensitive to wind direction. They can take wind from any direction. There's absolutely no problems with turbulence. There's no bird kill, so the environmental movement, we can handle that as well. They're built to be very, very rugged. They're built out of stainless steel. They're built certainly for the harsh Canadian climate, which is where we're based. So now being able to come into the American market is certainly very exciting for us, especially with those tax credits and all of those renewable energy pushes that are coming along. There's an excellent opportunity now for people to make that switch.
Now, I know we're supposed to focus on telecom and tech, but I'm just fascinated to hear how you might be playing in other markets, like just residential, commercial, et cetera.
Yeah, there's some residential and commercial applications. We focused our turbine right now on specific applications, low power applications. One great example would be border security. We can actually power a wireless camera and transmit that data wirelessly. So now all of a sudden you can create those, you can secure those borders. Other instances would be parking lots, where you don't want to have to dig up or you don't want to have to trench out to get the power out to those parking lot, the lights in the parking lot. We can power them that way as well. So ideally, where we're going to go with this is our factory is going to be powered by wind turbines. We're not there yet, but that's certainly one of our goals.
And you didn't residential? I might have missed it, but we're not at a point where this is cost effective for a house.
No, unless you're in certain markets, definitely overseas. So the Caribbean, it actually makes quite a lot of sense for them because their electricity costs are so high. But in general, if you've got grid-tied energy already available, if you can already plug into the grid, it's going to be very hard for any renewable energy at this point to compete, and that's why you're starting to see those incentives start to kick in. We're getting close, certainly in California. There's a great market for us there. Certain other states where they've already got inexpensive power, it just makes sense to stay with the grid. What we are seeing, though, grid cost of electricity is going up at the same time as our costs are coming down. Eventually, you're going to hit that break point where it's actually cheaper to generate your own power than it is to buy it from somebody else.
Right, and I guess also with the cost of oil, even in a global economic slowdown, we're somewhere in the $80 a barrel range. So assuming that we have some growth,
yep,
we could see that price spike, and that theoretically plays into your sweet spot.
Especially with diesel generators. So folks who need power in remote sites, they're trucking that diesel in. So not only do they have to purchase it, but then store it, maintain the generators, all those sorts of things that add up those costs. So we certainly play very, very well against diesel.
How heavy is the is a typical fan?
Yeah, our turbines are 350 pounds. They're about 6 foot by 6 foot. So there's 5 blades, each standing 6 feet tall, and they're about 2 feet wide.
And it really does need a battery to be optimally working, right?
Yeah.
You have to have that battery.
You're going to want that battery because that's going to smooth out the fluctuations. Some days you have windy days, some days you have less wind, so that'll smooth that out for you.
I know in some third world countries, theft of the diesel generator is a problem. I'm just wondering if theft of your turbine is going to be as much of a challenge. Maybe not, because it's maybe not as useful without the battery, and it needs some configuration. And you know, diesel generators pretty easy to hook up to anything. But yeah, I think that's another benefit that you may have over diesel.
And we can put what we do in those cases is we actually mount the batteries higher and then put some apparatuses in place to prevent people from easily being able to climb up them. If somebody wants to steal anything, they can figure a way to do that. But in general, our units are going to be a little bit more permanent. In that regard, it's not the same way that you can throw a diesel generator on the back of a truck and drive it away.
We're talking about some significant weight. You're going to have to get a big truck to take this stuff away. So that's very exciting. Very, very exciting. I wish you luck.
And thank you.
So what's next for the company? Just growth and trying to expand into new markets?
Absolutely, yeah. Telecommunications is our first foray into that. Okay. And so far the response has been excellent because right away telecoms are seeing the opportunity to diversify, to get into the green space at a cost-effective price point.
Sure.
There's a lot of companies that are greenwashing and saying, yeah, we're going to go green, but when push comes to shove, there's that dollar cost. What we've done is we've really driven our price down, and that's through the manufacturing process. So thankfully, over enough time and enough generations of the technology, we're starting to see the price point come down, and people are really starting to bite. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with the product, and good luck rolling it out.
Thank you very much, Rich.
Nice to meet you, Alex.
Yeah,
thank you for being on the program.
Thanks.